and continuing to, I think, illustrate some really great warm-up techniques with us on his channel in the morning. So we can start borrowing those ideas. He's got some great things going on over there. And Gregory, hey, good morning, bud. Yeah, that's the way I feel. I feel kind of like I'm melting snow in my yard with a flamethrower this morning. We've got a snowstorm coming in, and I'm sort of anticipating snow removal. Guess what this is? Guess what time it is? Time to get jiggy with the tuning fork. Radish? Gregory sends it himself. That's a good thing. We're quite a crew here. We've got this beautiful culture of respect going on, and it's just going to grow. It's going to continue to grow. Okay, there's the 844. We've been going through some old archival footage of some high school and middle school performances in the old band Moby Town Kids. It's kind of been fun to see those things. And so, pretty exciting times over here. Let me just get a little bar flutter, just try to zero out my bridge. And let's get that down to 2. I always think it's pretty fun to do one of these. Radish, good morning. Are you a newcomer? I think, Gregory, I think we've got a welcome to some new people here. I might be missing something. Good morning, you absolute legends. Yes, sir. Good morning, all guitar for everyone. What? Sup, dog? Yes, I'm with you, Kevin. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, I know you guys are these. So what we've got here, we haven't heard from Anthony yet, but he's what gauge strings? What gauge are them strings? Bottom Industrial Complex. The gauge of these strings are 9s to 9 on the top, and then probably like a 40 something too, maybe. I think. I purchased this guitar around Christmas time a few years ago, and I haven't really played it until, much at all until this week, so it's kind of, this week will last. It's a really fun guitar for me to play. It's got this nice, mahogany back, and a split flame maple top, hook matched, and then the binding that it's basically a Les Paul, but got like an Ibanez RG series guitar. It's super fun to play, and it's it's got that Sweet Child of Mine written all over it. There's Anthony. Good morning. Hats off to the mastermind. That's the guitar player right there from Denim Dennis. I don't know if you've heard that band yet, but if you haven't, you might be missing out. Just saying. So Denim Dennis right there on YouTube. Wonderful, wonderful. Check out the song called Journeyman to get started, and you won't be disappointed. We're starting with, if you're just tuning in, I think we have a few new members here. I wanted to take a minute to welcome you all. I'm not going to be able to keep up with all of the live chat. Mr. Husband, Dan, good morning. Gene, good morning. I'm so excited to join this. Thank you, Gene. As you can see, I'm equally, and most of us are equally as excited. We're all chomping at the bit for me to get us started. So I won't keep us. Can you show proper bend technique? I heard you're not supposed to bend directly up and instead use some sort of rotation. Well, yeah, let's talk about that. Kazakhol bus. That's right. That's don't hurt your little fingers. Well, you know, if I was playing some jazz, you know, I'd have flat wounds on one of my rigs, and those are probably 13s, right? So there's a banging. My flat picking rigs are all strung with 13s, and on a lighter day I'm using 12s, and then you know, on my you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan rig, I probably have like an 11 on the top, and so don't feel too badly for me. You know, I'm not all whip, you know, part whip part of the time, depending on the approach. But it's all, you've got to save that reserve for when you really need it. You've got to keep that extra stuff in the tank, that extra fuel in the tank for when you really need that reserve. So that's important. Good night, bro from Indonesia. Anthony, rock on. You are rocking it. Anthony's a great singer too. This whole thing is just such, it's so on fire, it's hard to explain it. So let's take a look at, rather than hear me talk the whole time, now let's go ahead. We've got 10 minutes burned already, so I'm going to encourage us to breathe. If you're just joining us, we do this every weekday morning. We warm up for the betterment of ourselves, our own person, our guitar lives, our family lives, if that's the case, our community lives, our performance lives, our guitar lives. Maybe we have recording sessions scheduled for today, later in the day, and we're just warming up. If you're a professional guitar player or you want to be a better practitioner of the guitar, this is the place to slide into for free every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're just starting with breath. So I feel like I've got, you know, 9 cups of coffee in me, so I just got to get my body and my mind ready for this process. So number 4, fingerstyle week. So it's all index middle for me this morning. Until we get into the last 15, the last quarter we'll review some of the stuff that we've been doing over the span of the week, and just kind of check in with that stuff and check our progress. Maybe offer something new, but probably not today. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I do have a new item that's easily folded in. We'll see how it goes. We're starting with 4 attacks per beat, 60 beats per minute, and we have fingers 3 and 4 on frets 11 and 12. So we have 1 E and a 1 Z and 2 Z and put on the shoe. And it's just like this. And I'm paying careful attention to the metronome. The metronomic click is super important. And if I can't hear the click, I'm playing too loud. This is specifically designed to get me warmed up and ready for the day. I haven't heard a response back on YouTube about the live streams going out weird. And it looks like I'm still backwards today. As soon as I hear a response, I'll let you know. I might send another segment here today. And this is the place from whence we came, which is back to the circle, which is all we really want to do at this point. Just warming it up. If you're hanging out, if you have a friend, a guitar player friend, a relative, family member, or anything, like if your bandmate wants to jump on, this is a great place to come and join with your snare drum and do work your rudiments against what we're doing. So if you've got your drum pad, Mr. Scott K. Fish, he's like, this is a great place to just show up with your drum pad and then work the rig with, you know, other musicians. So all of this works for bass guitar too. Fingers 1 and 2, move on over half, fingers 2 and 3. I'm sure we're playing along on this one. We have fingers 1, 2, and 3 on frets 11 and 12, 1 E and a 2 E and a 2. Proper bend technique, let's do that. Yes, so Dimitri, good morning. It might take me a couple of seconds to get to that bend question. Just got to get my head on straight here. Most of us here have a guitar in hand, I'm assuming, because I saw Raul, our friend here in the live chat, actually recorded an entire session of him following along with the video. So I know there's proof, there's documented proof that at least one of us is doing it, along with every morning ritual. So the whole point of being here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is that we get the seat time, we get the repeat, you know, and then eventually we might not notice any benefit or any gain for it. It could seem like weeks and days or weeks, and then all of a sudden, like, bang, the bike doesn't fall over when I take the training wheels off, the bike stays upright, it's a little squirrely, so I know I've got to perfect my ride. But then, one day, you know, I'm bombing down the hill at 65 miles an hour, winning a world mountain bike point race. So, I mean, it all starts somewhere, right? 1 E and fingers 1 and 2, 11 and 12. 1 E and 2. Yeah, I know Raul has proved that he's actually doing some of the work here. And he's got a lot of really cool exercises listed out on his YouTube page at the moment. So I recommend checking it out. I checked it out, I'm going to continue to check it out. We might incorporate some of that new stuff at the last 15. But we're just using the 1 and 2 and then just getting familiar. So there's one of the things that we find that we're going to have to do as players is decide where we want to separate from being the sheep, the sheep, and then we become the shepherd. You know, there are things that we're going to have to learn how to specialize in if we want to distinguish ourselves within the market. Yeah. And it's even challenging enough as it is. You know, Mr. Eddie Gomez, a great world-class upright bass player, was telling me once, he's like, you know, Jason, we're not the marketable type. And, you know, I still haven't really figured out what that means because I don't know if I believe it yet or not. But you know, it's been shared with me. So let's fingers 3 and 4. We have fingers 10 and 12, 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E. Raul, your videos are awesome. They're making me practice more. The discipline is impressive. Looking at purchasing a new guitar this weekend. Maybe bring your helmet and chin strap and try to contain your excitement. I get so excited about new guitars. It's like the first time every time. You know, to quote that amazing song. Getting. I would be very excited. I'm excited alongside you. All right, so we've got those stretches going. We're starting with stretch. We're continuing with stretch fingers 2 and 3. 1 and 2. Yeah, just really easy, simple. You know, I want to work out, take these fingers for a while. And I'm really working on shifting my ergonomics to really focus on getting these second and third fingers down. So I'm really working on, I'll show you a stretch that I've been trying to do to improve this situation. And if you're still hanging out for that vibrato idea, there are a few things to talk about there. When we use vibrato or a bend technique, but we're using vibrato basically to ornament a sound or breathe some life into an otherwise lifeless tone. If we bend up, we perceive the note out of pitch. If we bend up in pitch and then come back down to the tone, that little bend up, we perceive that as being out of tune. If we somehow can bend below the tone and get back up to it, we don't perceive that as out of tune. Now for rock and rollers, like if you're listening to Talk Dirty to Me, Poison, you know, we don't care about being out of tune. That's part of the part of the allure is the risk of that, you know, S and D and R, the rock and roll. So we don't really care too much necessarily about being, you know, out of tune. But if you wanted to play like an E-tune vibrato, it's hard to illustrate on this floating bridge, but I can, if I use enough friction on one single string, I can push toward the bridge and then it loosens the string just enough to make it microtonally descend in pitch and then return to zero. So that's a good way to do it. Typical like B.B. King, you know, like you know, is to keep that hand reverse karate chop on the bottom of the guitar neck. Use that as a pivot point, and then that's you know, and it's kind of like a wrist wiggle, like you're flinging something wet off your hand. It's that kind of momentum, that kind of motion. And if you want to just a lot of us just kind of do the regular, you know, go for the easy stuff. But if you get it done right, you can push the string. You don't want to slide, but you want to stay where you are. If you push it, if you can get enough friction there, you can really reduce that pitch by quite a bit. So let's go ahead and do fingers 10 and 12 on frets. Fingers 1 and 2 on frets 10 and 12. Continuing along, if you're just joining us, welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth. Today we're talking about morning ritualing for guitar growth and personal improvement. And we do this every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's free for all of 2025. We're just going to motor all the way through 2025. 1 E and 2 E and 2 E and. And what we do is we show up with guitars in hand. You can head over to Rob McClinnis in the live chat, his YouTube channel, and you can witness, like, he actually recorded himself working along with this warm-up and how he's doing it, how he's approaching it, sneaking a yogurt in, you know, between breaks. So it's just a morning ritual, just one of those things to be engaged with. We're hopeful to have, you know, generated some really lofty goals for this year for ourselves. This is the starting point. This is sort of like where the rubber meets the road for me. Don't forget to breathe. I'm working on guitar posture. I'm working on fretboard awareness. I'm trying to not need to look at the fretboard to roughly know where I am. I kind of have learned these measurements with repeat gross motor study, right? And we're off. We're off to the races. We're off to another finger stretch, a beautiful finger stretch between 2 and 4, and then 1 and 3. So we'll start with frets 9 and 12. 1, 2. And I'm really working on trying to get that good posture, finger posture, staying close to the string, even though I'm not, you know, I mean, maybe I'm just coming off the string, but I'm trying to keep my digits like within a quarter inch at the most away from the guitar string set. So the theory is that I have a quicker response time, getting back to the string. So this speeds up my technique when I want to engage in faster passage work. Hey, from Brazil. Incredible, I hear Anthony. Can't wait for you to enter Mr. Sandman video. Enter Mr. Sandman. Nice. Alright, fingers 1 and 3, frets 9 and 12. We've got down on 2 2 and 4 now. So we got a little back. Changes the feel around a little bit. Putting that metronome on the upbeat. I guess a house for me, like a few miles up the road from me. This morning was burning, fully engulfed in fire this morning. Licking flames, you know. A couple years ago, we had an oil fuel tanker explode right at the end of our road, and that was quite newsworthy. It was on. It ended up. My footage ended up on the Celtics jumbotron. Pretty crazy, and it's you know, nobody was hurt. The mail carriers were told to exit the rear of the building, and the couple of guys one of the guys who was a retired Army officer, you know, one of the high-speed blokes jumping out of the planes and stuff. He's like, no, I don't think so. I'm going out the front of the building, and the siding was so hot. The siding was burnt, was melting the siding on the front. The heat from the fire was melting the siding on the front of the building. The guy went straight out the front door, straight over to the burning truck. Could explode any time. Grabbed the guy that was passed out unconscious in the cab, yanked him out of the truck, and pulled him to safety before the thing went bang. Just crazy stuff. Just insane stuff. Heroes everywhere, man. So fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on frets 10, 11, and 12. Cool guitar. Thank you so much. It's an Ibanez RG series. You can find these on the internet, you know. I don't think you can buy them. Maybe you can still purchase them in new condition. I mean, they're relatively cheap. This one there's a version with a hardtail and a version with the soft tail like this. I wanted someone who's really looking for something with a, you know, a bar on it. Play Wonderwall. I love that song. I did do a video of Wonderwall on my channel. I don't know if you're still here, but if you wanted to go check out that video, I would love to see a comment over there. Whoa, play some Lydian Dominant. Here we go. All right, Isaac. Now you're speaking to my inner guitar fire. The old Lydian Dominant rears its ugly head. Lydian, I'm super bright, but I'm dominant. I'm Lydian, but I'm dominant. I'm Lydian, I'm bright, but I'm dominant. Really interesting set of tonalities to play along with. So if you figured out what the characteristic chords were of Lydian Dominant, and then you build just a 2-chord vamp, and you create a loop, maybe we can do that. I've got a looper plugged in this morning. Maybe we'll get to that. If you just 2 or 3 different loops, you could spend a week just trying to work through if you're fresh off the gate, fresh off the bat, fresh out of the gate, and you're really, you know, looking for something new. Lydian Dominant is kind of fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's the right thing to do. But right now, I don't know if you're just popping in, Isaac. I'm going to encourage you to come back and continue to raise those issues. Every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here every weekday morning. I should be stretching right now. Let's go ahead and do a quick stretch. 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard for the entire year of 2025. Yeah, I know. It's free. You know, I've got, apparently I have all of this extra time that I didn't know what to do with, so I thought, do I want to wash dishes for an hour, or do I want to play my guitar for an hour, and I put it up on, I put it up against the light. Put that question up against the light, and I said to myself, dishes, guitar, and I waited, and here we are. It's got actually the dishes are done every night before bed. Close the business. We run the house like it's, like we run the business. All of our previous day stuff is closed out, locked down, washed up, put away, previous to going to bed, because we're like that. And I don't know why we're like that. I guess we could live any other way and just be as happy, I guess. I saw that somebody, I have a comment here that somebody wants to pull the like button, but they're not sure if they really dare to or not. I dare you to. Difficult decision. It is. I have to deal with it every day. Play some jazz, brah. Do you have some film on your channel, Isaac? Mr. Des. Alexander, good to see you. Proud gay man playing the guitar. Talking about housework. That's funny, Alexander. I'm happy you're here. And I don't know if you're aware, but we're definitely looking to continue along with the culture of respect in our live chat. And I just wanted to let you know that. Okay? So here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, go. E and a. And then we're using all of those 4 fingers now because we earned it. And we're heading all the way down to position number 1. Position number 5. Approaching number 4. I always thought, helping out around the house was more masculine than anything. Kind of like leading the house. I thought maybe there are roles to fulfill, I guess, in my world. And it doesn't matter really who does the thing, but what matters really down deep is that the thing gets done. So like, if you're, let's say you're playing dobro, and let's say you're a partner, and you show up in the band, and you haven't, picked the guitar, and you made a series of choices that don't take care of the business. Let's say it's me. Let's say I don't take care of my end of my business, and I show up for practice. Some of us can relate to this directly in this live chat, because we've got ensembles and trios that we're actively working with and rehearsing. So if I was a guitar player, and I show up and I didn't do my job to improve myself and learn the material before practice, or if I didn't, if the dishes didn't get done, regardless of who doesn't, how do I make breakfast and not get like botulism or hepatitis or something? How does that translate into preferences? I just don't understand that. So let's do this 1, 2, 3, 4 stretch. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4 stretch. 1, 2, 3 stretch 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do. E and a. Ethan, how you doing this morning? Why do you need film on my channel? I was just wondering if you have any videos where you're playing guitar. Retro, hey. Good morning, Richard Dominant, please. find these warm-up exercises are really helpful? I do absolutely none. You don't do any. I think if you practice I watch like some drummers will like have a feel. You know when like Harry Chapin, for example, like Jim's father, Mr. Chapin, the singer's father, when Harry sat down at the drum kit, you knew when he sat down and he was like getting ready to play or something, and just getting himself comfortable, and he'd sit down and he'd play the kick drum, and it'd be like just an off the cuff thing, and you knew just by the tone and just by his delivery of that note, you knew something real was about to happen. And I think that translates into the life of any instrumentalist. Again, I want to take that with a grain of salt because we all have our own goals and our own paths to follow. And so anything that I'm doing here is, take it or leave it. But this is what I'm personally choosing to do over the entire year of 2025. It might be a good idea to use this as a warm-up tool so I don't get up to speed. I'm not going to drive my van, my Mercedes buggy, onto the highway just from a stop, and then I'll just get smacked. If I'm on the Autobahn, you ever driven the Autobahn? Man, I've driven an Opel Kadett and just got crazy. And but I need that on-ramp to get up to speed so I can merge with the other players who are up to speed. So this is my day-to-day thing, and this is, I feel really good about it. Sometimes the warm-ups are, stretch back. Position we're reaching back for 8, and 1 E and a 2 E and a... practicing patterns through scales like the Nicholas Linimsky Thesaurus of Melodic Scales and Patterns, I think would be, that kind of stuff would be a really useful thing for me to do after the warm-up. This is just to get my body and my mind. I'm talking a lot because I'm running a show right now. But if I was practicing this for 1 hour, I have, how many clicks in an hour? Whatever 60 beats per minute is in an hour. I'm playing how many notes. I'm just going to focus on breath. Tonal control, dynamic control. I'm going to be hyper aware of every glance of every fingernail over every string. I'm going to have my eyes closed. And I'm going to continue to remind myself to breathe. And I've found that over the years doing this, maybe I'm not at that place at the moment, but I've found some really high and attained, personally, like from my own personal feel, I feel like it's helped me to attain very high levels of musical conversation, and that's what I'm shooting for. And I'm not sure how else to address that. So let's go ahead and take a look at 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do one of these. Let's go ahead and do 1, 3, 2, 4. So we're going to start working with some of the things that Raul has been introducing to the group. It's a little bit of a tongue twister if we haven't done it before, and then when we descend, we'll ascend 1, 3, 2, 4, and 1, 3, 2, 4. And we'll use 1 and 2 and. So 2 attacks per beat for now. And once we reach the top of that position, we'll descend the position, and then we'll stay here. And we'll use 4, 2, 3, 1. we'll focus exclusively on tone production. Okay? 1 and 2, and here we go. Ooh, a little glitch there. So, yeah, I guess in a long circumtangential way around the answer. Let's start that with 1 and 1. Let's put down 2. And 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 2, 1, 2, 3. In a circumtangential way, I do find it useful to do these sort of finger exercises. Oh, so I think we're using, I forget the pattern, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, oh yeah, there we go. When we descend, we're using 4, 2, 3, 1. And then each pattern here has a real world application, but if we didn't practice it, we would never be able to play it in real time. And so, you know, we're generalizing here, and I haven't heard that term in a while. I've been digging the Phrygian vibe lately. Love those tones, yeah. Sometimes some of the connotation gets lost in translation, you know, with the text and the live chat. Welcome, Isaac. Keep warming up with us every morning. You won't regret it. Respect from India. Good morning. Nan Padam. Have you heard the record with Bela Fleck? And it's called Tabula Rasa. Let's see, where are we at? 4, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1. 4, 2, 3, 1. Oh, Jesus. I feel like I'm just getting dressed for my first day of school here. Trick is to find ways to have the guitar become new every day. And each tone is carefully curated into it for a little point of perfection. Repetition. Part 2 of the Michael Shreve interview is out right now, by the way, and there's some really killer pull quotes in there. I think maybe I shared some of those with Guitars for Everyone. Guitar for Everyone. I think I shared 2 of those pull quotes, and you're gonna it's so crazy to hear the drummer from Carlos Santana talk about why we're basically doing what we're doing here. And there's no growth without, you know, the repetition. the repeating of the thing is the only way to unlock the thing. And it's just mind-bogglingly simple for me. And it helps me to not feel like what we're doing every morning is asinine, right? To know that other players of that magnitude, with that much money floating around their performance and recording environment, that they still talk about being music first people. They still talk about being, I'm developing myself first. My music comes second. They're not one and the same. They're two very distinctly different things. And there's only one road through it, and that's through repetition. And so if we're not instrumentalists or not vocalists or we're not studying a high art such as what we're doing now, it might be a difficult thing to teach that level of appreciation to a lay person. But we all learn how to eat with a fork, right? And if I'm going to take my etiquette and my table skill to be seated with royalty, I need to study up on the next level of etiquette. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. We're globalizing ourselves so that we can confidently walk into any musical situation in the world and feel good about ourselves. And by feeling good about ourselves in a situation like that, we allow others to continue to feel good about themselves. Otherwise, we have no business being there, right? That's just how it works. That's if you don't have the stuff together, we really have no position on the bandstand, right? That's basically the long and short of it. But I wanted to do this. We have another minute here. I'd like to do these 1, 2, 3, 4 exercises. Work through that with the index and middle fingers. We could actually just kind of like work at alternate picking like what we've been doing here. If you're working with pick, it'd be just down, up, down, up, down, up. But we're working with 1, 2, 3, 4 frets 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we just ascend. And then we descend 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we descend to position 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we do 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we descend to position. We do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then slide down, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what we're just trying to do slowly is this. 1 E end, 2 E end, you know what to do. Hear how tones are ringing one on top of the other one? I want to eliminate that in the next round. So top strings, stock string grouping is string grouping number 1. String grouping number 2 is the 4 middle strings. So there's no bleed or no ringing from tone to tone. It's a clear single note line. And you see how all of this sort of compounds to create our own path forward. We could all play the same exact set of tones and we'll all end up playing. It's like fingerprints, right? 1 E end, 2 E end, string 4, string grouping number 4. No. 1, 2, string grouping number 3. 1 E and 2 E. Like if you know, I mean, if you listen to your favorite guitarist, you can probably name who that is, right? Just by the way they touch the instrument. You know, I think I know Jim Hall when he's playing. I think I know Kurt Rosenwinkel when he's playing. I think I know Luke Cage when he's playing. You know, Mimi Fox when she's playing. I think I understand who's who. And that's a pretty cool skill to have, just to, you know, listen that at that level of appreciation for who's who, you know what I mean? And I've been digging the Phrygian Dominant. We're going to get into, I'd love to get into that stuff. I don't have any film, but hopefully you join the channel. Jump on board every morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. We're here for the entire year of 2025. I'm here for better or worse. And so far, we've been gaining momentum. We have a couple of benchmarks that we're setting. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Respect from India. We have, let's see, Bela is so good. Have you heard the Tabula Rasa record? That album is unreal, like unbelievably good. Talk about musical ambassadors, you know. Waking up and warming up, what I do with the rest of my guitar days, complemented by this socially interactive warm-up in the morning. I love that. Bingo, ding, 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 ding. Do you like Nirvana? No, I don't like Nirvana. I love Nirvana. You know, this, I'm not a left-handed guitar player. This is just, it's a flip screen. I've already sent in notifications to YouTube and they haven't fixed it yet. Well said, Jason Bean. Said check out Anthony's version of Fire and Rain. Excellent for the common man. What, oh yeah. Is that a Kiesel? No, it's not. I wish. One of my good friends has a beautiful, like,
I love it.
And he's it's headless, you know, and he's just a monster. Just a monster, Mike DeBerge, and just a killer guitar player. I'd love to own a Kiesel, you know. It's like a dream guitar. They're really great. This is this is a really fun Ibanez. It's an RG series, but it's kind of like built like.
I don't like reggae.
Back inside, play Mapletop.
Oh no!
Like as if it were. You know, Ibanez had a baby with Gibson Les Paul, right? And thank you, Kevin. So grateful to be here with you guys. Word, Anthony. I don't like reggae. Oh no, I love it. Peace Crusade all tomorrow. Dan, thanks for coming by this morning and sipping on some beans with us. And just so I can say that legitimately, let me just go ahead and do it. Gene, can I explain this exercise slowly? Are you talking about this one? Oh yeah, snowshoesies today. Gotta roll a good day. God bless. Travel well, my friend. All right. Can I explain this exercise slowly? I can. So I'm looking for a way to activate all 4 fingers. You know, and get them to be all part of the table, all one big happy family. Typically, my 4th finger is not very strong. Typically, it is a little bit. We'll call it. We use the term weak link. And what I try to do, you know, on some brief explorations into the world of general mountaineering and rock, general practitioner mountain climbing. You know, you have to make some decisions, some careful decisions before you put anyone else on your rope. So usually, 1's great, 2's good, 3's sort of a good balance, for a team. Lengthy stories behind that, I guess. And I'm not an expert, but I just have a very basic understanding of teamwork. And so I'm thinking, like, every finger's got to show up and function. You know, some of us don't care to use the third finger, and we make brilliant guitar careers, have great, happy, well-adjusted, joyful adult lives. Anyway, and that's cool, you know, and so it all depends on how you want to live it. But I think I have 4 fingers. It's a gift, and I want to cultivate the most out of what gifts I have. And so this is just a natural way to spread 1, 2, 3, 4, that longitudinal study. And then over time we extend that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over the span of the entire string set of the guitar. Up and down, right? We have to know how to come down. Descending sometimes we'll have to practice more than the ascending, because sometimes for some reason it's harder for us to come down than it is to go up. And descend for some reason, I'm not really sure what that's all about. But it's the case, it's the fact. I think it's generally well known, but practice the thing of descending until it's equally as effortless as the ascending. And then what I'm trying to do is combine that vertical climb, and I'm just basically making the rise and the run, rise of one, there's a rise of 1 fret and a run up of like 1 string. So 1 to 1, 1 up 1 fret up 1 string. And then I can move very quickly and span over the course of a larger string set. You know, instead of 4 notes and then I'm to the next, finally I'm to the next string, you know, and then 4 notes and then finally to the next string, and then 4 notes. Sometimes you want to take, your time and just kind of make the climb last for as long as you can. But in this case, we just wanted to motor through for the purpose of exercising the guitar. We want to get to each string after 1 note expires. And that way we're waking up our hand to these new shapes. So we could actually do the same thing over the span of, so if we're going to, this is speaking to our good friend Mr. McWenna's Guitar Grimoire exercise book. We're thinking instead of, 1 string at a time, maybe we could just introduce the string skip. So it's probably worth practicing all of those permutations, any permutation we can think of. And that's, did I help out with that at all? Gene, did I help out with that answer question? All right, I'm going to move on, and I want to just kind of recap what we started yesterday. We had 4 different shapes. This kind of speaks to, trying to help us harmonically get across the span of the string set with ease. But we have to memorize shapes to do that. So sometimes, stacking 4s is another way to do that. So we're moving from 1 up a 4th, up another 4th, diatonic, up another 4th to the C major scale. Oh, that'd be C Lydian. Oops. So we have C major, 1, 4, major 7, and then 3. And we probably would finger that a different way so we can get, finger or note separation. And I'm trying to play each, even though this is a double staff, I'm trying to roll from one string to the next so that we only have one string ringing at any given point. So the second shape would be the minor pentatonic, or the minor 7 shape. Some of us might prefer, an alternate fingering to that, but we can talk about that a little later. but the basic shape number 2, so the first shape was a 4, and then an augmented 4th, and then a perfect 4. 4 stacked on top of 4s. Now we have a 4, and then another perfect 4, and then another perfect 4. And that's shape number 2. Shape number 3 is an augmented 4th, followed by a perfect 4th, followed by another perfect 4th. Here comes the dot. Right, so there's that Mendelssohn thing. Shape number 4, our final shape to memorize, is the 4, 4, 4, 4, and then augmented 4. And if we put all of those together in the same way we would go up from, like, let's say C, D, E, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C. We have that same thing happening in the major, in like diatonic harmony, like 7th chord harmony. Ooh, hey, your finger's getting a little smushy up there. Here we go. Harmony stacked in 3s, we're going to stack harmony in 4s. And we're getting ready to jump, but stick around just for one more minute. Peace, Groove, see you tomorrow. Can I explain the exercise slowly? Onesie and twosie, the Guitar Grammar exercise book. Got it. And Gene, yes, good. Have a great day, everybody, and until tomorrow. Thank you, Kevin, for being here, and really appreciate seeing you this morning. And travel well. Hello. Our best to the head of familia, the father of the family, and we'll see you tomorrow. So I'm just going to finish up, and then if you need to jump, I totally appreciate it, totally understand your time being that valuable. So if you jump, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. So we're starting with this 4, and then basically shape number 1, and then shape number 2. Shape number 3, shape number 1, shape number 2, shape number 2 again, on fret number 7, shape number 3, and then shape number 4, shape number 1, 2 again, shape number 2, shape number 1. Very powerful interval before, right? Very powerful interval. So if we started here, that opens up some very powerful melodic chords for me. We'll end on Ionian, right? Horrible tone. It's just like trying to overplay on the guitar, trying to ask too much out of it, So really dialing in the tone. Thank you all so much for being a meaningful part of what's going on here, and being willing to take some lead and start start to produce some really